Hello. Today I'm going to be doing a book review on Murder of the Orient Express, written by Agatha Christie. Here's the cover. Uh, it was all right. I liked it. If you were rating it, it'd be like 7 out of 10. The thing is, she has so many books written out on just based on this character. She has other mysteries. She's more popular than Shakespeare, actually. She's written a lot of stuff, and you may be wondering, well, what separates this from all the other books? I want to say the circumstance. The Orient Express, uh, Detective Hercule Poirot. He is on the Orient Express, which is a train. He's going back home. If you're wondering who that is, it's the main character. It's a Belgian detective, and he has booked a winter passage on the fabled Orient Express. So, that's a train. And basically, an avalanche happens, and they're stuck in this. So, among the, how many passengers are there? One, two, three, four. Okay, I'm gonna say there's 14. One gets murdered, stab wounds. It's not a big spoiler. Um, it's a murder mystery, so someone's gotta die. Uh, Multiple stab wounds. There's some like conspiracy theory of a suicide, which it's kind of the norm now, I guess. They usually someone thinks it's a murder and someone thinks it's a suicide, and they have some conflicts. But that's just a little part of the story. Basically, what the whole book is about is him going through their alibis and their evidence. It's 322 pages, about more than 30 chapters. Man, the beginning, it's very, I'm going to say daunting. I feel like that's the right word. It's daunting just to get through it. There's a lot of information you have to take in, and personally, for me, I'm like a diary of a wimpy kid type of guy, and reading this, it was a lot harder for me. It was a good book. I did like it. All the evidence, it was interesting. It honestly was. I find it fun to try to and solve it, with all the evidence before the murder is revealed. And I think that'd be a lot of fun for someone else to try out if you're a huge mystery fanatic. Uh, yeah, this is obviously for those readers that like to keep up with a certain type of series. They really get into a character of it. If it's for readers that just want to read a book for like say like the scenarios, you want to read a book for a project and you're never going to look at the series again, I wouldn't really suggest this book. I mean, I jumped right into this one after I read And Then There Were None, which was a different book. You know, it was kind of weird. I'm not gonna say you need to read a specific order of books, but if you read more books about Hercule Poirot, you'll know more about his style. I was kind of wondering on how he solved mysteries, and maybe he does it differently each time. I'm not sure because this book. Let me read some chapters to you. This book was basically just him gathering evidence, except part one, which is the facts. Part two, it's all of the evidence of the wagonlit conductor, secretary. See right here, the valet, American lady, Swedish lady, Russian princess, Count Anne, Countess Andrenia. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. Colonel Arbuthnot, Mr. Hardman, the Italian Miss Debenham, German lady's maid, passengers' evidence. It's just a summary of it. Evidence of the weapon, evidence of the passenger's luggage, and then that's dedicated to a good chunk of the book. That's from page 89 to 215, and then the rest of the book it literally says Hercule Poirot sits back and thinks. So he starts analyzing all their alibis, and it's kind of interesting everything they say, and how he interprets it may be different from what you interpret. So it'd be interesting to see how, like personally for me, it was, it's kind of similar actually, but for a different reader, it might be different, because certain characters you maybe think they're flat out lying, and they actually weren't, and it could be vice versa. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a pretty good book. If you want to read it before, I guess another book comes out or something, I guess you could do that. You could stop on any page and then come back because it's kind of clear cut on where everything is. It's organized actually very well, surprisingly. I mean, right there. It literally says evidence. If you stop at like page like 90 and you want to know what the evidence of the wagon conductor is, the chapter is like a page before. It literally says evidence of the wagon conductor. Yeah, sorry. And the chapters aren't even that long. You know, there's some books where chapters are a page at a time. This book, I'm gonna say the pages are. Let's see here. Yeah, anywhere between like 6 and 12 pages apart. So yeah, that's basically it. You know, if you there's a lot of this is very popular actually because this is you know there's many different versions of this one book alone, but also a lot of our other books actually I found. It's kind of odd. It's very interesting actually. Yeah, she's really good in her time. Let's see here. What else can I talk to you about? Parts that I like. I talked about the beginning and how it was very hard to get through. In the end, you know, it might catch you by surprise. I like the end. It's very interesting to see what happens. I'm not gonna spoil it for you because that'd be kind of stupid to do. Um, you know, I'm just gonna give you a little hint on how I solved the murder of the other book, and then there were none. Uh, you know, if you know Spanish, you know there's a letter and it's written by Uno, U-N-O. It's Uno, and the first person mentioned is the killer. So just little hints like that, you know, that will lead you to the killer. So if you're like if you're on you know if you're on the deciding point of if it is like one passenger and another, just go back and read just the little details that might help you out a lot. Um, you know, one time last book, and then there were none. I thought it was one of the two surviving characters, and it wasn't. So yeah, it's very interesting how she writes. Um, not a lot of huge vocabulary, you know. I mean, it's a long, but I wouldn't say it's the hardest read. And what else can I talk to you about before I go? Well, that's basically it. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Talking to you about a book here. If you forgot about it already, it's Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie.